Hey, my name is Joe,
And I'm Mary Beth.
and this is the best of Gen X.
We are in our 40s.
And we're siblings,
We'll talk about adulting in a world so different from the one we grew up in,
so excuse us while we save a generation.
one episode at a time.
Let's go.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Mary Beth.
Guess what?
Tell me,
We're going to hit 3,000 downloads today.
the hell you say?
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Get right out of town.
I know. Yay to us.
Hey, I feel like we've accomplished something.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember when we first started, and you'd be like, well, we only have 50 downloads. And I would say, well, it's got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere.
You got to always start at zero.
27 countries, 3,000 downloads. Yay.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. I want to give a quick reminder. The deadline is approaching. Our Game of Thrones episode is coming up on July 7th. And I have big feelings about it. But as you know, misery loves company. So by the end of the month, please send an email, text, or Facebook message telling us what disappointed you most about the final season. And if you're the one person who actually liked the final season, I'd like to hear from you too. Because honestly, I'd like to hear some sound rationale for what they did to us. And I also realized as I was putting this together and looking at the calendar, Joe, I timed this all wrong.
Why do you think that?
Because when I started like counting the weeks, like if we were going to start telling our listeners to watch or rewatch, they better start now. I was counting down like how long it would take the average person to get through the whole series. And it fell in July, but it didn't occur to me at that time that July is, and always has been, my favorite time for TV viewing. There is so much going on. And now I'm going to have to fit in a Game of Thrones rewatch in the midst of some of my favorite things. First of all, Season 4 of The Bear just dropped. I'm 5 episodes in. It's an amazing show.
Jeremy, is it, what's his name, White?
Jeremy Allen White?
Jeremy Allen White, dude,
He's something else.
he is so good. First time I ever watched him was on Shameless, and I remember thinking, like, the show was quirky, Shameless was, but I was like, man, that dude's good.
I get lost in those baby blues.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't have that issue, but
Oh.
but yeah, he's good. He's blowing up.
Yeah. But the show is just masterful. It's a work of art. But not only that, so we have a Dexter resurrection. You watched Dexter, right?
Yeah, you got me on Dexter.
Yeah. There was that, not a reboot, I guess, but a continuation.
Yeah, I didn't get into that.
It was good.
It was?
Yes. And now there's Dexter Resurrection, which drops July 11th.
So what's the premise of that one?
Apparently he wakes up in a hospital and Batista
Yeah.
is on his tail.
Huh.
Right. So,
Same actors?
yes, but get this. Peter Dinklage
No.
is in it.
No.
So it takes place in New York,
No.
where like the perfect place for a serial killer to hide, right? Apparently, Peter Dinklage is this powerful, wealthy something or other who's interested in bringing all of these serial killers together. Neil Patrick Harris, for example, is part of the cast. Uma Thurman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so somehow Dexter is brought into this group, and I'm really anxious to see if he still stays true to his code. So anyway, I'm very excited. That's July 11th. Also, it's Shark Fest on National Geographic, which is like 2 weeks long. And then after that, it's Shark Week on Discovery, which I've been watching since the very first time.
Dad, what are you doing? It's Shark Week. That's Step Brothers, if you've never seen that movie.
Yes. So July is the best month of television for me. Oh, and it's the 50th anniversary of Jaws. So there's this great it looks like it's going to be a great documentary with Spielberg and all the rest of them talking about the making of it. And that is on National Geographic, I think on July 12th or something. I don't know. But it's happening.
Ooh,
So all these things.
Well, I saw the coolest vintage Jaws T-shirt on the. You know how they do those Instagram reel ads and stuff. Where I'll buy some like vintage shirts and stuff. There was the coolest Jaws Amityville shirt. I almost pulled the trigger. It was dope. It was so cool. I was like, oh, Mary Beth would like that shirt.
Oh man, and it hasn't come in theaters here yet, but I looked online. It looks like mid-August it's going to be re-released. I did see it in theaters for the first time, obviously, because it was 1975 when it came out. So Josh and I went to see it. Actually, when we first started dating, we saw Jaws in the theater for the 40th anniversary. So I'd like to see it again. If you've not seen it on the big screen, you must.
Bro.
But my point is...
Richard Dreyfuss was like 27 or 28 in that movie. Crazy.
How am I going to fit in a Game of Thrones rewatch?
Okay, so the issue is not that you can't do it. It's the fact that you're like, crap, I have to manage my time appropriately because I have all these other
things to watch.
So you can do it. It's not
can.
You made it sound like it was like the wrong timing because of something like super serious or...
Well, it's going to be tough to fit it in. However, I will say this about myself.
You can do it.
I know Game of Thrones pretty damn well.
Mm-hmm.
I had that show on loop for about 2 years. I probably don't have to do a full rewatch, but
I feel like I'm going to need to because I didn't watch it straight through like loopy like you did. I watched it once straight through. I think I watched it a second time straight through, but like a couple months later, and then I haven't really watched it fully since. And that's been 2 or 3 years. So I feel like I'm going to need to.
Yeah,
I know how everything happens. I know,
but you probably need a good recap.
Really good, and I'm not upset about that. Listen, I like to just be like entrenched in it in that show. I love knowing that I'm going home to get that thing on and pick up where I left off.
Well, our last episode, when I was reminding our listeners, I said we're going back to Westeros, and that's really what it feels like.
Yeah, I love being invested in that show,
being immersed in that world again.
Love it.
Oh, anyway,
I can't wait. And I can't wait to talk to Alonzo. That'd be cool.
I'm looking forward to it. So what's up with you?
Oh, I'd like to say nothing much, but boy, how my life has changed in the last couple weeks.
Right.
So Mary Beth knows this. My family knows this. I re-injured my knee back in 2002.
Re-injured? Go back.
Okay. So in high school, I'll try to keep it quick, but in high school, my sophomore year, I was in a basketball game. It was our homecoming game. And there was like 30 seconds left. Dad was our coach. There was 30 seconds left against a team called Madison, a local school. And with 30 seconds left, I blew my knee out. It was unfortunate. It was a no-contact injury. It was just kind of like I cut one way.
A misstep.
Yeah. And so there was a guy like near enough to me to where I kind of like tripped over his knee. But it was essentially a no-contact thing. Like I was already going down before I like ran over that guy. Referee called a foul. It was the end of the game. I had to shoot free throws, and I couldn't put pressure on my leg when I tried to get up. It was the weirdest feeling. Like I didn't feel a bunch of pain, but I remember thinking how awkward it felt that I couldn't put any pressure on it. It was really strange.
Suddenly felt like the bottom of your bottom half was like disconnected.
Like it was gone.
Yeah.
And so I stood up and I was trying to like walk or put pressure on it. And Dad looked at me on the sideline. He goes, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I can't put any pressure on it." Somebody had to come in and shoot my free throws. So I got surgery on that my sophomore year.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
I remember you having surgery when you broke your foot.
No, I had surgery on my knee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when we were in our rental house after the house fire, I was on crutches, and that was my knee recovery then.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because this was like January, February-ish.
Yeah.
Right around my birthday. Anyway, so that was a little bit of a recovery. And then when I got into college and I got in real good shape, my knee felt stronger than it had ever felt. So I was really happy. I was playing a lot of basketball and no issues. And in 2002, me and a bunch of guys that I played with in high school and some other guys from a neighboring town that I was friends with in the fraternity, Dad gave us the key to play pickup on Sunday, so we go and play pickup ball. Anyway, I kind of did the same thing, just no contact, cut one way. It kind of just gave. I felt it, and it was the weirdest feeling. Like I felt like it's almost like it was disconnected, and I could feel it like separating, or whatever. but I could limp on it. So in my mind, I was like 22 years old thinking, oh, I can deal with it.
Sure.
It'll just heal itself. Worst decision I've ever made in my life.
Yeah, back when hangovers lasted 8 hours.
Yeah. And I had, mom and dad, like, I think were like supportive in the sense where they're like, you need to go get it checked out. You need to go get it fixed, whatever. And I was like, no, it's good. Like, I'm still able to kind of walk on it. And that's 23 years ago. So you just think about the normal wear and tear. You think about all the golf that I've played. I even played pickup ball years after that. Mm-hmm. I just put a lot of tear on it, and I can't straighten it all the way. I haven't been able to for, close to 30 years.
So what was the final straw?
So the final straw was I went walking around my neighborhood with my dog, and it hurt, and I walked too far. Mm-hmm. I basically walked the entire golf course. Mm-hmm. And the next day, I literally felt like, I was like, my leg's going to have to be amputated. Like, that's how bad it felt.
Damn.
So my leg was in such pain, and I couldn't even, it was even more bent than it was before, if that makes sense. So like, usually I can't straighten it all the way, but you almost can't tell unless I say something about it. Like if I was just standing normal upright, you couldn't really tell unless I brought it up. But this one was like, it was like more bent than ever. And so I looked like a cripple. I'm not saying that offensively. That's what I looked like when I was walking. And I couldn't take the pain. I couldn't get comfortable in bed. And I finally was just like, you know what? Basketball season's starting in a few months. I don't want to
got some trips coming up.
I got some trips coming up. I don't want to be just sitting there complaining about it constantly. And everybody, I'm sure, gets tired of hearing about it. I'm sure my kids are tired of hearing about it. So I just finally was like, all right, Mom had told me recently that she got some injections or whatever in her knee. She said, doctor, she mentioned the doctor's name. I was like, oh, I know of him because he was my age. I played sports against him. And she was like, yeah, he's one of the best. So I reached out, got an appointment like the next couple of days. And I went in there and he, we did the x-ray and he basically was like, yeah, he goes, you could certainly do a partial knee replacement. But he's like, even if that works, even if it's successful, he goes, something could go wrong. And you're looking at 10 years maybe, and you'll have to reassess and maybe get it done again.
That'd be a waste.
Yeah, because Andy was like, why don't you just get a partial? Because my X-ray was like bone on bone, but only on like one side, which surprised me. But I just opted for the total.
Yeah, like why not just knock it out?
Yeah, so I just, I think the total will last me longer. I'll feel better doing it that way. So I'm getting a total knee replacement on July 10th or sooner if somebody cancels.
Yeah.
It's a big thing for me. It's nerve-wracking, but I'm really glad to know that I'm finally doing something about it.
Yeah, me too.
It's hard for me, but it's also like, I understand it's hard for people to hear me bitch about it for 20 years, because I'm sure that wasn't fun to my family to hear me.
No, we really don't care. It's about just feeling better.
Because people would finally just be like, well, didn't do something about it. And I'm like, okay, you're right. So, yeah, getting a total knee replacement.
Well, I'm sure Andy will get you in tip-top shape.
Yeah.
Quickly. And that's so weird because we're in our mid-40s and what the hell, knee replacement? I mean, that's something our parents are going through. Mm-hmm. And who the hell forgot to remind us when we were young, oh, take care of your knees, kids.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Nobody told us.
Nobody told us that.
They warned us about other things.
Right.
That were like complete hooey. Which is what our episode's about today.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, we could extend more grace and call these things urban legends, but that would kind of be a betrayal of our collective rebellious streak as Gen Xers. So we're going to honor our inner child and blame the grown-ups. Mm-hmm. These are some of the lies they told us.
True.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, in fact, I do.
Okay.
I'm a ladies first guy, but you know what?
Do it.
I want the lead on this one.
Okay.
Okay, what about...
I wouldn't want to be with you on the Titanic.
Hey. Mary Beth, what about it's illegal to drive with the interior lights on?
Oh, yeah.
We always heard that.
Isn't it illegal?
No.
It's not?
No.
Because I still...
Not that I've read. It's not illegal.
Like if Josh turns it on while we're on the road, I'm anxious to turn it off.
Yeah, I mean, I've not read anything now, I could be wrong, obviously, but I'm not ready that it's illegal. I think it's more of like a respect thing for the other drivers and stuff.
Dang.
We can have a fact checker look at that one, but...
You may have just debunked something that I needed debunked.
And if I'm wrong, then been wrong before.
Okay.
Probably won't be the first time I'm wrong on this episode.
Here's one.
Or the only time, rather.
What about if you swallow your gum, it's going to stay in your body for 7 years?
But that can't be true.
Well...
Did you read up on that?
I did. I wanted to find out. It's not true. Apparently, the non-sweet part of the gum, it doesn't digest, but like it doesn't break down, but our body still passes it like it does anything else. So no, it doesn't stay in your body for 7 years. But I did think it's interesting, the 7 years part, because it made me think of...
that's very specific.
It is very specific, and it made me think of the other thing that I heard growing up, which is if you break a mirror, you have bad luck for 7 years. Mm-hmm. So I kind of looked into that, and I did find something a little interesting. Apparently, mirrors in ancient Greece and Rome, they were sort of a luxury. So having a mirror was a big deal, and only wealthy people had them. But your reflection, the Romans believed your reflection was connected to part of your soul. And so if you were to break a mirror, your soul was broken. And the Romans believed specifically that your body regenerates every 7 years. So if you broke a mirror, your soul was broken, and in 7 years you were regenerated anyway. So that's how long you would have the, quote, bad luck. I thought that was really fascinating.
That is fascinating. Have we had that conversation before on an episode where I think I've either brought it up on an episode or in like conversation with people before mirrors existed or cameras? Like, did people not know what they looked like? Like, did you not know what you looked like to the
They had drawings.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
But I've wondered about that too.
Hey, that's the kind of stuff I think about in the shower.
That's the kind of stuff that keeps me up at night.
Exactly.
Like, what did people do before they could stand in front of a mirror and know what they looked like?
Yeah, exactly. I just think that's so weird.
That is.
Is it my turn, or did you steal a turn?
No. No, I said swallowing gum, so you're up.
Yeah, because I don't think the gum like acts as, I don't think it like is an adhesive. Like I don't think it like sticks to the stomach.
No, but they do say that, especially children, swallowing it too often can lead to, a disturbance in the bowel force.
Oh, I remember as a kid, like if I accidentally swallowed it, I remember going, "Oh no!"
Right.
Like, what have I done? Like, am I gonna die?
Like these are things we believed that frightened us.
Or I just always thought I was gonna choke. Like I thought it wasn't gonna go all the way down.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So these things frightened us. That's kind of the point. The lies, these lies that grown-ups told us were meant to, I don't know, scare us straight into it behaving well when we were being annoying, or I don't know. Exactly. But that scared me.
Exactly.
If I accidentally swallowed my gum, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, same. That's exactly how I react. My turn?
Yes.
If you eat a watermelon seed, the seed will grow inside your stomach, and a watermelon will grow inside your stomach.
I never heard that.
Oh, I heard that. I want to say like Grandma or Aunt Sharon said that to me one time.
I don't think I ever heard that.
Listen, Joseph does not eat a watermelon with seeds in it now. Because of that.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
You could accidentally ingest one.
You never know.
And then look like you're with child.
All right. I'm not about to do that. Now, in today's world, that might be a little acceptable.
You'd be totally in.
But I'm not going to die. I'm not going to try it. I'm not going to test that theory.
I wouldn't either.
Okay.
This one probably scared me the most. We were taught that at some point in our lives, quicksand was going to be a real and obvious threat. Quicksand. Saw it in movies and TV.
Like you thought we would be like exposed to it?
Yeah, like TV and movies made it seem like you'd constantly be in danger of sinking into the earth. Just the fear of quicksand.
But only in places that obviously had sand.
Right.
So we're not going to have that worry here.
Right, but it still scared me. I think more than anything, Never Ending Story kind of did that for me. So when Atreyu loses his horse, and it's not like quicksand so much as it is mud, but it has the same effect.
That traumatizes me. Like, I still think about that scene.
I know, me too.
Artex?
Yes.
Oh, man. Do you tear up? Be for real.
Yes.
I do too.
Yeah, in fact, this morning when I was obviously thinking about it, because quicksand makes me think of that terrible scene, I was tempted to look up on YouTube just that scene so I could see it, because it's been a lifetime.
And you had tears falling on your keyboard.
I didn't do it because I was getting choked up just thinking about it.
You had tears falling on your keyboard, didn't you? I would have. Listen,
But it turns out quicksand, not the danger they told us it would be.
No. Gosh, I wish you wouldn't have brought up that scene. I'm not. I don't pretend. I always say, hey. I don't pretend like you're not paying attention to me.
I love it though.
I know. Hey, I don't pretend to be like an animal rights activist necessarily. I'm sincerely a dog lover, so I hate seeing dogs in pain. Or
hey, being a dog owner is the gateway.
It softens you big time.
It is the gateway to love of all animals.
It is. I totally agree with that because I didn't like dogs, as you know, before I got Buddy.
Yeah.
But every time I watch that scene and you see the horse when they pan to the horse and it keeps like sinking in the horse's face, it kills me. It absolutely kills me. And I know it's fake.
Right.
But I'm just thinking about what if that was real and that horse is just like, yeah, I'm dying. I'm about ready to die. Like.
And fine acting by the horse because you feel its despair.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hate you for bringing that up. Is it my turn, my lady? We were told all the time, we grew up in the 80s and we had the big like box looking TVs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you sit too close to the TV, you'll need glasses when you're older or it'll cause blindness.
I do remember.
So I remember sitting like Indian style or on my knees and I'd get real into the show, probably Alf or something, and I'd get super close and I'd catch myself and go, oh, better back up.
I know, right?
You know why? Because I want to see when I'm older.
Now, that one definitely came to mind this morning when I was thinking about this. And so I realized that there's a great contradiction. So not only did they lie to us then, we're still being lied to. Because what happens when you go to the eye doctor in your 40s?
I haven't been in.
Oh, they'll say, you need to buy this kind of lens because all that screen time is hurting your eyes.
Yeah, of course.
So you need a special.
Yeah, of course they would encourage that.
Right. But one doctor before did tell me just flat out, under their breath, they were like, it's bullshit.
Really?
Yes. And I wish I could remember time and place.
Did everyone hear that? It's bullshit.
Yeah, so don't spend a lot of money when you go to get your eyes checked. Don't spend a lot of money. Don't buy into what they're telling you about, oh, you look at a computer screen all day, you really need the special kind of lens. No, it's bullshit. And what I thought was weird is, that's when I realized, like, the light bulb. So I think, oh, we were told it's going to hurt our eyes. That is not true, according to the internet. But now we're being sold this bill of goods when we go to the optometrist. Things aren't adding up. So, yeah.
Very interesting.
Still being lied to. Don't fall into that trap.
Okay. I can still read the bottom of the eye chart at the doctor's office.
Oh, yeah?
I can still read the very bottom line. Is that good?
It's very good. Josh has 20/20 vision still.
Well, tell Josh I have 20/15.
Yeah.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah, so the whole screen, now it can cause like dryness and that sort of thing, and irritation or discomfort, but no, it's not going to ruin your eyes.
I even thought about one time, this would probably be like diabolical, but I thought about one time if I ever got asked to do the eye chart thing again, like read it, if the doctor said read it, I was going to like purposely like mess it up big time.
Okay, that's not diabolical. That's self-sabotage. Because 5 minutes after that, you'd be sitting at the desk with the doctor going, okay, your lenses and your frames are $650.
I would fess up about it immediately, but I would do it as a joke. They'd probably be like, we don't have time for this.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, if it was an F, I'd be like, X, wing ding. Yeah, I'll start just like naming off random.
That's the sort of thing you do when you're little.
Yeah.
When they pull you out of the classroom.
Oh, that's the sort of thing you do when you're immature? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, the joke would be on you if you did that, because they'd take you for everything else. Glasses are so expensive. It's nuts. Okay. Is it my turn?
That reminded me of Sheldon. After Picard's from The Next Generation goes, so...
Joke's on you. One of my favorite lines. There was also, I think, the myth that you'll get sucked into the TV screen. An irrational fear that screens had some sort of literal magnetic power or pull.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm as familiar with that one.
I wasn't familiar, but I did come across it this morning, and I thought, the only thing that put that fear into me was Poltergeist.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I still have trouble watching that movie.
I know.
Like the pool scene where the skeletons are in the muddy pool and stuff.
Or what about the clown?
Bro.
When the kid gets pulled into the tree, the clown, oh,
Bro,
forget it.
I'm out on that.
Yeah, that's still a hard movie for me to watch, even though I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it my turn?
Well, you mentioned the sucking into the TV.
Okay, you go.
Did that count as one of yours?
It can.
Eating carrots will improve your eyesight.
Is that a lie?
I think it's a lie from what I read. Now you're like, listen, you're questioning me on 2 of them, so I might be wrong. But what I read, it's kind of BS.
Maybe I still believe it. Maybe it's not true and I still believe it, but I thought carrots were good for your eyes.
Well, this website that I read can go to double hockey sticks if they're wrong. I refuse to believe it's correct or accurate because I do not like eating carrots.
I love carrots.
I don't mind carrots, like those little baby carrots in like those veggie trays with the dip. I can do that for some reason, but I don't. It's almost like I like that better than like cooked carrots.
Tell me this. Have you ever had oven roasted baby carrots?
Would that be like in a pot roast or something like that?
No. You take a bowl, drop in some baby carrots, drizzle with olive oil, salt, tiny dash of pepper, and then some brown sugar. Stir it all up, throw it on a baking sheet, roast those things.
Word?
It's like candy.
Word?
So good.
Okay.
They come out, like you mix it, you check on it and you kind of slosh them around, whatever, but they get a little burnt around the edges sometimes, and it's like yummy sweetness.
God, you make that sound good.
Do you like sweet potatoes?
Well done, yeah.
Okay,
Basically
you'd like
what it
this.
is.
You'd like this.
That sounds similar to what Mom does with the pecans or pecans, however you say it.
Roasted carrots.
Okay.
Very good. Is it me?
Yes.
Okay. How about eating Pop Rocks and drinking Coke will make your stomach explode?
I remember that one.
Yeah.
And I similar to the gum thing, I was afraid to do it because I thought I was going to die. I did, for real.
I mean, Pop Rocks were scary enough for me. It's kind of like Sheldon when they open the champagne, he goes, still scary. I knew it was coming, still scary. I knew that they would, pop in my mouth, and that scared me. That alone. But the thought of drinking Coke, like outside of the body, you see what they do when they mix, and you're like, don't want that happening inside me.
Did you enjoy the experience of eating the Pop Rocks by itself?
Not.
I didn't really like it.
Again, no, not really. I was more fearful. It was.
I just couldn't. It was unsettling to me.
Good word.
Unsettling.
Unsettling is a great word
like
for
the
that.
first time I ever tried it, I felt like I had to just to hear it.
You got to see what the hype's about.
Yeah, it's just unsettling to me.
Yeah.
And plus, I think I've said this in other episodes, maybe the Halloween episode, I wasn't a big like sweet tart type candy guy.
Yeah.
I just liked chocolate, peanut butter stuff.
True.
Ooh, by the way, not to get off topic, but I went to the grocery the other day, maybe yesterday, and the grocery store had a Twix flavored like chocolate milk. Like it had the Twix brand logo on the jug.
Get out.
I was like, what? But I had to try that.
My favorite Girl Scout cookie are the Thin Mints, and in some places you can get Thin Mint coffee creamer. Changed my life.
You were huge on Thin Mints.
I still am.
Samoas are.
Babe, I still have 10 boxes in my freezer.
Oh, bruh. Samoa. You gotta be about that Samoan life.
Josh loves Samoa. I don't mind them. Josh likes them, but I'll get 10 boxes of Thin Mints and 1 box of Samoa for him.
Yeah.
Because it'll take him 4 months.
Yeah, I for real need like a support group for Samoans because once I eat one, I eat like 100.
That's how I felt. Thin Mints are like chips.
Yeah. Okay. You're gonna like this one.
Okay.
Because I know we both heard this at the same time as kids. Cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. Now, I don't want to say this to sound like I'm speaking ill of our grandmother.
I thought you were going to bring her
where I'm
up.
going with
yes.
this.
I know exactly.
Grandma Ledbetter had these really like bony, like how would you describe
gnarly.
it? But how would you describe the shape? Like
they were gnarly, like a tree.
Yeah, they
like an old tree.
So when I say bony, the listeners are going to think it was all like real thin, which parts of them were, but then at these like little joints areas or whatever, they were real puffy looking.
Yes.
They were like swollen almost.
Swollen, yeah.
And I always feared, because Dad would always say she has arthritis in her fingers or whatever.
I thought she was the proof of this
Right. Exactly. That's where I'm going.
Of this lie.
Yeah, you just got to it, but that's where I was going with it. I was like, I don't want my hands to look like that. So I still do it to this day a little bit, but I will be honest with you, I think about that.
You think about
I still
it.
think about it. So
Okay, listeners, are you still haunted by these things? Do you still think about these things? Because just like Joe said, if I crack a knuckle, I mean, sometimes it feels so good.
it does, man.
But I still think about.
I look at my hand as soon as I do it. I'm like, is it happening?
Is it happening? I think the knuckle thing is probably a genetic component
That's the
because
part of it.
according to Google, it does not lead to arthritis. Cracking your knuckle. I mean, up until just recently, because my daughter pops her knuckles all the time, and I'm always like, "Don't do that! Don't do that!" So it's nice to hear that it's not the danger that.
Yeah, I try not to make. I'm not trying
they
not to
told
do too
us.
much, but
Yeah, I did not want my hands to look like that.
I still think about it.
Okay, let's see. One of my favorites. Don't cross your eyes or don't make a silly face to somebody because it'll make
It'll stay that way.
It'll stay that way.
I had that one.
I really did believe that.
I did too. Like I would make funny cross-eyed like faces, and I'm like, oh gosh. Like I would time myself in my head, going, oh gosh, it's been 3 seconds.
Yeah,
I need to go back.
And growing up, the three of us in a house, close in age, constant fighting with each other, getting on each other's nerves on purpose. I'm sure that this was just something parents said so that you knock it off.
Yeah.
Like, because, we're not talking about silly faces just for fun. It was silly faces toward your brother or sister to annoy them.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like their subliminal like parenting tactic to get you to chill.
Yeah. Like you're
Very slick.
very slick. Just like the quiet game. We grew up playing the quiet game. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I wonder if we're the only people on earth who played the quiet game.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it occasionally, but not to the degree that we did. I felt like it was like a staple.
Oh my gosh. Please reach out to us and tell us we're not the only ones.
Did you play the quiet game?
Here's what it involved. So anytime the three of us had to get in the back seat, going with mom and dad, vacation, usually it was vacation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or if we were going to like Freddie's pool or something like that.
Yeah, anytime we were together and being annoying, they would say, quiet game. Now, the winner received a quarter. So there was incentive there.
Which back in ye olden days, a quarter could get you a soft taco at Taco Bell or a Big Mac.
Quarter was a big deal.
I'm just cheeking. I'm teasing. It wasn't a Big Mac.
So there was money involved. There was money at stake. But basically, none of us could talk. First one to talk loses. The last one to make it through without saying anything or making a sound was the winner. Who always won?
You did.
Thank you.
Who always came in second? Me. Who never got the damn quarter? Jennifer. Jennifer never saw that quarter.
No.
No.
Poor girl.
Poor thing. It was immediate.
She
Wait,
couldn't.
hang on. Before we play, I got a question.
Oh, wait, I got a question.
We've already started. And we'd always look at her and go, nope, you're out. Poor Jennifer. Remember when parents or adults used to tell kids, coffee will stunt your growth?
Yes.
Did you really believe that?
I did.
I'm a coffee drinker today. I mean, obviously I've done growing, but I was afraid to try coffee as a kid because of that, because I wanted to be like 6'7".
Me too. And let me tell you something.
You want to be 6'7"?
You're not 6'7".
Hey.
How tall are you?
Me? Oh, gosh. There's been some debate about this recently.
Okay.
I think I'm about 6'1"-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes claim 6'2" just because it sounds cool, but I think I'm more like 6'1".
Are you 6'1" and some change? And just rounding up?
In shoes, I have been measured at 73 inches. So, give or take, that's 6'1".
Okay.
Without shoes, I'm probably right at 6.
Okay.
But that's been debated recently by people that will remain nameless, that they don't believe I'm that tall. They like to say 5'10" just to get me going.
Oh, okay.
And I'm saying, don't you put that on me. Don't you put that on me. You take that back. You kiss your mother with that now?
Okay.
Why do you ask?
I was just curious. I noticed that sometimes on X, you will remind...
It's a joke.
Okay.
It's like a trope that I've continued to...
Yeah.
It'll be like random. I'll post something about like...
By the way, I'm 6'1".
Yeah, I'll say, what a beautiful day. Oh, and by the way, 6'2" checking in. That's my favorite.
Where were we? I can't keep track.
I say coffee will stunt your growth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I did believe it, and I was afraid of it. In fact, we lived next door to our
I
great-grandmother.
knew you were going to bring that up.
She used to make the
It
best
was so delicious.
coffee.
She put ice cubes in it.
We were little. And we would spend, brave woman, to give little kids coffee before bedtime.
So good.
But it was like a nighttime treat. So she would put ice cubes and milk and sugar in this coffee, and it was glorious. I'd never had something so divine.
It was a treat. It was like a delicious treat.
Yeah, but it was secret.
Secret.
Like, I felt like we couldn't tell.
Right.
Couldn't tell mom and dad.
Right. It was like an exclusive thing.
And it could definitely stunt our growth.
It was so good, though.
It
God,
was.
That was good. I wish I knew exactly how what she put in that, what she mixed with it. But it was good.
How about this? You'll drown if you swim right after eating. We always had to wait 30 minutes.
You have to wait 30 minutes. Do you think that's true? Do you think studies show that to be true? I can't imagine that's true.
According to the interwebs,
it
is not true.
Not true.
Why did we think that drowning would have been... Like, the part that makes sense is that if you eat and then swim vigorously...
Like you could get cramps or something?
Cramps or stomach upset or indigestion, gas, But not drowning. Like, why the hell did we believe that?
Yeah. Like you lose your buoyancy if you eat.
Right?
So silly.
Or you'd get some kind of body cramp that would keep you from being able to tread.
Move your
legs
and stuff.
Oh, I just ate. Cramp in my foot in the shallow end. I'm drowning.
I do remember, like, we would consciously be thinking about that and being like, gosh, I'm so hungry, because swimming would make you ravenous.
Yeah.
And I remember us being like, we're so hungry, but we're having so much fun swimming. We don't want to eat because if we have to wait 30 minutes.
But after we ate, I remember watching that damn clock.
Oh, yeah. It's very serious.
We were counting down.
It's a very serious exercise.
Well.
In discipline.
Our parents took it seriously, apparently, because I remember that clearly.
That's actually a really good one.
That was dangerous.
Really quick on the coffee one, because I think it was funny. I read on Reddit, this one guy goes, they were going back and forth on it, and he said something that I knew you would laugh at. He goes, well, if coffee actually stunts your growth, if that was the real truth, he goes, my whole family would be like 3 feet tall. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I drank a lot of coffee. Glad that's not true.
Okay, let's see. If you pee in a pool, speaking of pools, the water changes blue or changes color.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
I know that's not true. Do you know how I know that's not true, Mary Beth?
You've tested it?
Thank you. Thank you very little.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. We got to a certain age where it was like, we heard that people who had pools or hot tubs could put this special chemical in it that would change the color. That made me stop.
Right.
Like, whatever age you are that you stop peeing in the pool, that right there made me stop forever.
Yeah, you didn't want to be exposed.
Absolutely.
As the one that did it.
Oh, yeah. Because then you're old enough to go to pool parties, and you're not going to be that one person.
You don't have to worry about a pool party invitation if you get caught doing that.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. Last one I'll give. Touching a frog would give you warts.
That is a good one.
I had this friend in elementary school who always had warts on his fingers, and I was so frightened about getting warts. Not that I would have touched. I still today, I'm 46. I would not touch a frog.
No, I wouldn't either. No. I still won't.
I won't. I care about them. I want the best for them. I don't want to touch them.
I want the best for them.
But I was very worried about getting warts this way. But no, that's not true.
I also hope they live a full, healthy life.
Right.
But I, to this day, won't touch them because of that. I'll be honest. I don't want to get a wart. What did you do at school where you're like, Teddy, were you touching frogs this weekend?
That's what he told me.
I don't know if his name's Teddy. I just made that up.
No, his name was Kevin. He told me he was playing with frogs.
No way.
Out in his backyard, yeah.
Do you think he was messing with you?
Probably. Looking back, probably.
An old Gen X term. Do you think he was yanking your chain?
Yeah, he was yanking my chain. In fact, we're friends on Facebook, so I might have to reach out.
Your leg?
I might have to reach out and...
Is it okay? So I won't say last names, but is this the Kevin from your birthday video?
Yeah,
I see him still.
Yeah, I do too.
His kids go to the local school.
Right.
So funny.
Right. I was gonna say now it's time to reach out and go. I know you were lying.
And you know what? He looks the exact same.
He does.
With some gray in his hair and a belly.
I know.
He looks the exact same.
I know.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that scared me.
Wait, what about, this isn't a real one I had, but Santa Claus is real. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
The trauma. I think we've talked about this during our Christmas episodes.
It's like that one Scottish girl in that video. She goes, "Thanks a lot, you idiot. Thanks to you, my charger's not charging my iPad. Thanks a lot, Rachel." Have you seen that video? That's what makes me think of it. Thanks a lot, Mom and Dad. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for nothing.
Yeah.
What a colossal lie. That lie did some damage.
Or parents that told their kids if they heard the ice cream music, it meant that they were empty. I like that one. I read that one online.
Oh, that's sad. We were never told that one.
No, we weren't. Sorry.
That's so funny, though.
Funny ones. I actually had a few funny ones.
Okay, let's
Should
hear
I
it.
shoot you with those?
Yeah, I'm done.
And then we can go on break. I don't know if you're ready for this. So again, I want the listeners to remember, these are lies that parents told us. And when I read these, I freaking died. I'm just going out for cigarettes.
And they don't smoke.
Obviously, people were trying to be funny about it. The next one was, I don't know, I never did drugs. This one got me. This one got me. Everything will be all right. Dead. And lastly,
Wait, I need to recover. Everything will be all right.
Everything will be all right. And the last one, we're almost there. I think we may or may not have heard Big Joe say that before.
Yes.
In the old LeSabre. We're almost there.
You said that in my entire childhood just flashed.
Came back. We're almost there.
My goodness, because we always drove
So funny.
on our family vacations, and he would. Oh my god!
Which, I think not to get off, thinking back. I know we're talking about these, but thinking back, I'm so grateful that we drove most of our trips.
Oh yeah, they were
I'm so
fun.
grateful.
A lot of bonding experience.
Yeah, think about all the laughs and the memories and stuff we shared. So funny.
For sure.
Yeah, I thought you'd get a kick out of those.
I love that. We're
almost there.
Okay, I think it's time for a break. I need to recover from that one.
Hey listeners, do you like judging people as much as we do?
Then judge us.
To submit your criticisms and complaints about our show, you can reach us at gotohell@bazinga.biz.
For all other comments, questions, or suggestions about future episodes, drop us a line. Send us a text from our website at thebestofgenx.buzzsprout.com and click on the link just above the show notes.
Or email us at thebestofgenx@gmail.com. Okay, we are back. And Mary Beth, you have been dangling, speaking of carrots, a little carrot in front of me this whole day almost.
Yeah.
You've been giving me these little teasers that you have to share that I'm supposed to be really excited about.
Yeah, so this was just by chance, just curiosity. Every now and then I'll kind of get online and see how our podcast is doing outside of our own analytics. Yeah. And I found something really fun this morning. So we rank when listeners search for 40-something on Apple Podcast or Spotify. The Best of Gen X appears as result number 1.
No way.
Yeah. Now, listeners, you're going to break my heart if you Google that right now and I'm wrong. If you get on Apple or Spotify podcasts and do that and I'm wrong, I hate to believe what Google tells me, but I want to believe this.
So you're saying if you got on the app and searched, or are you saying if you got on Google?
It says if you're on Apple Podcast or Spotify and you search 40-something, Best of Gen X is number 1.
No way.
I swear.
Guys, that's amazing.
Okay, but I have
more. That's a genuine reaction because I've not heard that.
Yeah. But I have a couple more that I thought were fun.
Buckle up.
We are number 17 just for Gen X, which is so strange because Gen X is literally in our title. But there are a ton of Gen X specific podcasts out there. So 17 ain't bad. But we are ranked 18th on Apple and Spotify for people who search lively banter.
Really?
Hello, Mr. Lively Banter.
Hello, Mrs. Lively Banter.
I thought that was so funny. I just got such a kick out of that this morning.
I love banter. I hate witty banter. That is fantastic.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. So yay for us.
That is so cool. Awesome.
We're on our way, Joe.
Well, I will tell you, and I'm not just saying this, but when we first started this whole thing, I think even before we recorded, you and I did some like research. We were looking at different like naming ideas and stuff like that. And a good chunk of the Gen X related podcasts that I researched or saw, they only lasted like 5 or 6 episodes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I noticed that too.
I feel like our longevity has like stood the, like we've stretched ours out farther than probably most. That could be why we're getting at the top of some of the searches and stuff.
Yeah. And when you do like, so I could also mention, if you were to simply Google the phrase, the best of Gen X, we are number 2 in search results right under Wikipedia. If you were to type in the best of Gen X podcast, we are 1, 2, and 3 in the search results.
Girl.
So that's not bad.
Your boy's going to be doing some Google searching after this. Let's go.
Hey, we're going to be able to hire an editor soon.
Let's go. We're going to have a team.
So that's fun. All right. I hear something. You know what that sound means.
What does that mean, Mary Beth?
Hot take.
Hot takes. Oh, we are incorporating our hot take segment for the first time.
Yay.
Yay, us.
Yay, us and our varying structure. What's your hot take for the day?
My hot take is wedding culture is entirely out of line.
It is.
I mean, can a brother get an amen?
A freaking man.
Do you want to say why you believe it's entirely out of line? I'm
Oh
sure.
my gosh. It's like keeping up with the Joneses. Back when Pinterest was all the rage, it set this standard, this impossible standard that everyone tried to meet. And the whole, we've talked about this before about reality TV and how it's like Say Yes to the Dress, 90 Day Fiance, the whole Bridezilla.
They ruined it.
They've ruined it. Like, oh my gosh, wedding culture is out of control.
Yeah, it's become this big like dog and pony show, and I still believe in the institution of marriage.
Obviously.
I'm no longer married, but if I were to get married again, it will be like a quick on the beach, cheap, not a lot of frills and pomp and circumstance. It'll just be quick, simple, beautiful, done.
People are doing it all wrong.
I know.
Spending so much money for a party.
Exactly.
Essentially.
Exactly.
I mean,
going into a lot of debt.
Your living room on Christmas night was the perfect way for Josh and I to get married. I'll never forget it. I'll never regret it.
Right.
So,
That's cool.
Wedding culture.
Yeah.
It's out of control. And guess what? Nobody cares. Like, you invite people to your wedding, nobody cares. They're there, they love you, they're glad you're getting married, but basically they show up, they want to get a peek of the dress, and then they want to eat and leave.
Right, exactly.
So, anyway.
Well, there you go.
Here's my hot take for the day. And I really mean this from the bottom of my soul, from the deep cockles of my heart. Doing nothing in your 20s is depression. Doing nothing in your 40s is life goals.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I'll die on that hill.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's my Everest.
It's like you earned it.
Yeah.
Not doing anything in your 20s is like unforgivable. There's no excuse for it because...
Well, you're losing interest in things.
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing anything? Why are you in your room sleeping for hours at a day? Like, that is depression. In your 40s, that is what you are chasing every single day. Every weekend I chase that. Like, no graduation parties, no birthday parties, no holiday gatherings.
No mitzvahs, both bar and bot.
Don't ask me to go nowhere.
Nowhere.
On the weekend, because my life goal is doing nothing.
I'm past the whole going out scene.
Well, and like our kids are growing up, so no more like spending your weekends in another town in a hotel for volleyball tournaments or
You want to talk about
baseball
phooey?
tournaments.
Yuck. God, did I not live that.
Saturday
Awful.
doubleheaders. Ugh.
Awful. Do not miss it one bit.
Yeah. So yeah, doing nothing changes. People will be concerned for you if you're young and doing nothing.
Yeah.
People will be jealous of you in your 40s if you're doing nothing.
Big time. Big time. That's a good one. I like that one.
All right, so we're going to wrap up this episode. We want to talk about, let's assess the damage caused by the lies grown-ups told us. Is there any? I mean, did all these false warnings, aka lies, I tell you.
Lies.
Have they had any sort of lasting impact in terms of like our collective relationship with fear? Like, is Gen X fearless, or are we like irrationally afraid of basically everything? I think like our parenting style would suggest that we are irrationally afraid of things.
Yeah.
Because we weren't the helicopter parents, but we did hover, and we overdid it.
Yeah.
We overcorrected for the time, the one-on-one time we didn't get. Mm-hmm. But Gen X has not a reputation for being scared so much as being scary. So there's a bit of a contradiction there for me.
That's exactly what I was kind of thinking in my head. Is like we come off as the ones that like drank from the fire hose, like drank from the garden hose. And,
yeah. We watched the Challenger blow up in second grade on live TV.
Played outside with no supervision, stuff like that. So we claim to be that group.
We have a pretty tough reputation.
Yeah, but then we're also afraid to eat carrots because our vision will go bad. Or cracking our knuckles because we'll get off already.
So,
like, which is it? Which is it, Gen X?
It just made me wonder, like, what kind of impact did it have, if it had any at all? I'm definitely a worrier.
Yeah.
Just by nature. Mm-hmm. And I worry about really morbid, irrational things, like the odds of them happening. Like, I used to watch a lot of crime documentaries, so.
I love crime documentaries.
So like my child being abducted and by a serial killer, I worry about irrational things.
Yeah. I mean, Adam Walsh trained us to be completely terrified.
Can I just say,
leave our kids for 5 seconds.
John Walsh feels like a dad.
Oh, did I say Adam?
No, Adam was the
kid.
son.
Yeah.
But John Walsh made it his life's mission to keep as many children and families from going through what he went through. And I adore him for that. So John Walsh has turned his tragedy into so much good. But anyone under the age of 30, you say Adam Walsh, they'll be like, what, is that an influencer? Is that a YouTuber? Everyone over 40 knows exactly who that is. And it made us fearful. But a counselor once told me, for example, that I was a very brave person after I told them my story. And I think I touched on this in our episode about careers and, how I got into teaching. It was very atypical. And when I was explaining how I reached the point where I was the day I first met with this counselor, and it was quiet for a second, and she said, "You're a very brave person." And I laughed at her. I LOL'd because I'd never considered myself brave. But I noticed that while I have these irrational worries, I am super cool in an actual crisis. I am perfectly calm while others are running around screaming like their hair is caught on fire.
Is that what you think?
I know. I worry about stuff that's probably never ever going to happen. But when stuff actually happens, I'm the person you want to come to. You don't agree?
No, I'm just.
I was going to say, have I proven myself otherwise?
No, not at all.
I don't know. What about you?
I mean, I feel like obviously I have to say yes because we mentioned that I'm still thinking about some of those
still
things.
think about
like I'm still living my life in such a way where I'm preventing things that I don't know if they're actually true or not. And
you're doing special knuckle care at night before you go to bed.
I mean, for real, 40 years later, I'm still cracking my knuckles going, oh, crap.
I'm
simply
not to
because of that. So, yeah, I feel like I have to say yes a little bit, but I definitely don't. I mean, I wouldn't say I necessarily live in fear. Honestly, I feel like at my age now, death shouldn't scare me because it seems like our generation, people, it seems like they grow out of that fear of death. Like it's like almost like they're
Sure.
ready for it. I still fear that quite a bit. And I don't know if it's just like the unknown or like what happens after.
Oh, I'm not afraid of that.
I am. And I don't know why. It just seems so fun.
I know why.
Why?
I know why.
Why?
Jesus.
It just seems so final. You know what I mean? There's just the finality of it.
Yeah. I used to be afraid, but I know where I'm going, and I look forward to it.
And that's not, it's not particularly like where I was going with it, but it's just, that still scares me a little
Sure.
bit. And maybe just because I enjoy living so much.
Well, yeah, I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah, for sure.
But do you have, like, along with the fears about the specific things we talked about, do you have any irrational fear? Because I don't feel like I'm a fearful person. I'm not afraid of much.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, and you're not either. But I do have some irrational fears. Like outside of the typical parenting, worrying about your kid, blah, blah.
Yeah, I don't feel like I do.
You don't have irrational fear? Mm-mm. Nothing?
I don't. I mean, maybe I might spark some memory if you start bringing some up, but I don't feel like I do.
Okay, here's one of mine.
If I do, I don't have them enough to where it's like jumping out
okay.
to my head where I'm like, I do have an irrational fear.
I do have a couple
and here's what it is.
That bother me. Yeah. So here's one. I have an irrational fear of being trapped in a car submerged underwater. So when I am in a car driving over a bridge,
you roll your window down.
I roll my window down.
As if you're going to survive the impact.
As if I'm going to survive the couple 100 feet fall.
Okay, so that's what I said. You bringing some up might spark. I've had that fear before. I've thought about that before.
Yeah. But that's not my biggest one.
What's your biggest one?
In recent years, I guess because I live kind of out in the country, I have a fear that I'm going to be sprayed by a skunk. You know what this would do to my life?
Are you joking me?
I'm not kidding. Because our grandpa was sprayed by a skunk, I guess at work or whatever. And Dad always talked about how awful that span of time was. And I don't remember if it was days or weeks. But look, I mean, they say sit in a bathtub of tomato juice. There are all kinds of these, like, wives' tales of how to get rid of that smell. But once you're sprayed by a skunk, there's almost nothing you can do. And you just have to let it pass. And I can't imagine my clothes, my person, my home smelling like skunk. And when I step out in the morning to have that glorious first cigarette of the day and I smell skunk, I am trembling.
You're like tripping yourself, getting back to the door, like, let me in, let me in.
I don't want that to happen because it's so hard to get rid of it.
Could you imagine being in such a dire situation where your best solution of getting sprayed by a skunk is bathing in tomato juice?
I mean, I don't know if that really truly works, but still. I just remember Dad telling us that story and how Grandpa tried everything and it was horrendous. And it wasn't just horrendous for him. It was horrendous for everyone in the household for a long time.
Oh, you said our grandpa on Dad's
yes.
side? Wow. I've never heard that.
Well,
that's a good one.
That definitely wasn't a lie. They told us that was the truth. And so now I fear being sprayed by a skunk.
Oh, you know what? I guess I do have one.
Okay.
I have an irrational fear of being eaten by a snake.
Yeah.
Snakes do freak me out. So I guess I am.
You know what I think that's from?
What?
Oh, no, he's up to my toes. Oh, and then that song in elementary school that we learned about a snake starting at your feet, at your toes. Oh, geez, he's up to my knees. Oh, heck, he's up to my neck. Oh, no.
Gosh, I haven't heard that.
Okay, I remember that song, and I think that's why I have always been afraid of snakes.
Ugh. Yeah,
you don't remember that song?
I mean, I kind of, like, as you're saying it, kind of coming back to me, but I hate snakes, man.
Oh, I know.
If I just see like a regular, like harmless garter snake, I don't like it.
I don't either.
Whatsoever.
I don't want to have anything to do with those.
And my favorite is when people go, well, do you know if it's poisonous or not? You can tell by, I'm like, know what? I don't give a flying F about what it looks like. Any snake bothers me, so I ain't going to try to get close to any of them.
Hey, and in the moment, are you really going to, first of all, be close enough to tell? And it's like, I always remember the pictures in textbooks where it was like, the same color. It was like red stripe, white stripe, black stripe.
Yeah.
And depending on the order
of
the coloring, you could tell if it's I'm gonna just have presence of mind to stand there and count the
it's
order.
Absurd.
No,
it's absurd.
No, I'm gonna be screaming, running, flailing.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's like the difference between like the Italian flag and the Irish flag. It's like green, white, orange. It's like depending on the order, that's which country it is. I'm like, no. I appreciate you giving me a heads up. I appreciate the warning label.
Dude, you can tell by the shape of its head.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a snake.
Yeah, and no matter what, I ain't getting close to it, so I don't effing care. Hey, that's fantastic. Thanks for the crash course. Don't care. Still running away from it.
You know, I mentioned earlier in this show, being a dog owner is the gateway to loving all animals. Except snakes. They don't count. They were cursed at the beginning of the biblical tale of Adam and Eve.
You want to talk about giving Joseph the severe heebie-jeebies? It's a snake. You put me in front of a snake and I'm out. God
made them crawl the ground on the face of the earth forever for a reason.
Yeah, I'm out.
Because they are Satan's minions.
And Gen Xers know G.I. Joe, the show, like the cartoon show, and like, what was his name? King Cobra or whatever.
Yes.
And I'm just like, dude, I've been definitely afraid of cobras because of that cartoon show. Definitely afraid. Because then their backs come out real wide.
Yeah.
So they're just very imposing.
Yes.
And then I saw an anaconda in like a zoo exhibit one time, and then the movie of how humongous these things are.
Right.
Like they're like wider than me. And I saw one at a zoo, and it like wrapped around like 3 different like levels of this. And I'm just like, dude.
Hell no.
Could you imagine being right up next to that thing?
And of course, you know, we were in college just as the internet was really booming, and just seeing like here in Burma, watch this snake swallow an alligator. Ah!
Yeah. Or they'd put the dead snake on like this table, and it'd be like real puffy in the middle, and they'd cut it open and you see what they swallowed. I'm
like a small child?
I'm out on that, bro. Hate it. Don't. I'm telling you. If I'm within striking distance of a snake,
Expelliarmus. I don't know.
I like to pretend like I'm pretty tough. You put me within striking distance of a snake, you were going to see the biggest, I'm going to be the biggest.
You're going to see a Mary Beth shaped hole in the wall of what?
Exactly. I'm going to be a wuss to the nth degree if I'm within striking distance of a snake.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I do have one more irrational fear.
Let's hear it.
That our podcast won't become the best #1 podcast in the entire world.
I do not share that fear. Do you know why?
Why?
Confidence. I mean, Mary Beth, the numbers don't lie. The search results don't lie. Our friends in the Netherlands, our friends in wherever the hell.
Indianapolis.
They don't lie.
Our Indonesia following.
Indonesia. The tribesmen and wherever. They don't lie. 3,000
downloads. Our rank for lively banter.
I mean, that right there just blows my mind.
And who types in lively banter?
Exactly. It's like I'm shocked, but I'm not. Right. If that makes sense.
That is that person is my spirit animal. The person sitting at their computer typing in lively banter, looking for a podcast to listen to.
Because you know what's happened is they've landed on some boring ones that the cadence is too slow, or there's just not enough like back and forth. They're like, you know what? I'm really getting sick and tired of this crap. I'm going to search lively banter, see what comes up. And
you know what does? We do.
We come up. And what number did you say we were on that search on lively banter?
18th.
Nice.
I'm so proud.
That is amazing.
I know. I thought you'd like that. Well, thank you so much for listening to another piece of the Gen X experience worth saving. The lies grown-ups told us to scare us straight have now been exposed and immortalized in the annals of history. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the Best of Gen X wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Joe, always a pleasure.
Duh.